Guys, what's up? So, just for future proofing, I guess, I'm going to quickly apologize for the lack of good quality, because I don't know how good this is, because it always looks different if I record it coming off my phone. It looks good when I first do it, and then when I upload it, it looks bad, or vice versa. So, I'm just going to apologize just in case. So yeah, let's get into the setup review. I'm going to do this in two segments. I'm going to do the overall, and then I'm going to do the part where I open up the computer so you can actually see what's in there, and then I explain all the hardware and all that. So let's get on with the, I guess it'd be like peripherals, I guess. So starting off, we got the SteelSeries Siberia V3. If I could go back and get a new one, I would get a V2. Because the V2 is better. I think it's more durable, and it really has everything I need for it. And I'm pretty sure it's less expensive, but I could be wrong. I didn't really do much research when it comes to the V2. But the V3 is still awesome. I love it. A little bit of a durability issue on the leather strap here, but it's really not a huge deal. I mean, it doesn't affect comfort in any way because it's right here. And my head pushes up against it anyway, so it keeps it there. But yeah, I love it. It's super comfy on the ear pads, and has a little microphone that comes with it, so if you don't have a mic like I do, you can pull that out, and it's not horrible quality. I don't think it's great quality, but I don't think it's horrible quality. I'll put that in later. For keyboard, we got a Corsair K95 RGB. 18 programmable macro buttons, which I'm using one of because I'm stupid, and pretty much just haven't gotten around to using the other ones yet. Though on the Alienware keyboard that I had on my second my Alienware update, I guess, I was using the Alienware keyboard, and I was using most of the macros on there. But most of those were using my passwords, which is a stupid idea, so let me not do that. Anyway, so we have a Corsair K95. It's overall, I'd say it's pretty tricky to clean, but it's not horrible. I mean, compressed air helps, but the keycaps, you just wipe them down with a mix of water and isopropyl alcohol. It's pretty easy. Haven't done it in a while, so it kind of looks, but yeah. So, it has 3 modes for colors that are fully programmable. I did this one, so I made everything blue, this nice blue, and then right here I made the WASD, 1, 2, 3, 4, shift, and spacebar all red. I don't know, it just looks cool, I like it. For my programmable number 2, it looks like a standard keyboard, except when you press a button, it lights up. And it stays there for a minute. I've also made it so if you press H, it'll kind of wave out in both directions. It's really cool. At 3, we have the Rainbow, MLG, Doritos, Mountain Dew, all that. It's like a super cool rainbow wave. I like it. Moving on to the mouse, we have the Corsair M65, so we got a Corsair theme going here. Rainbow also, because rainbow is cool. And then we have a blue DPI indicator, and that's just one of the different couple modes. But blue is 3500 DPI, so yeah, can't see how it is 1-to-1, but it's nice. Got a little sniper button on the side, which is actually quite useful. I can tend to use it for if you assign it to shift or something, you can have it so for instance in Minecraft, if you push this button in, you can hold this button in and you can walk along an edge without falling, or in something like Black Desert, you can I don't know if there's any shift left and right click button things, but you could do that as well. So yeah. Also, if you assign it to shift in World of Tanks, you'll go into sniper mode, which is nice because it's a sniper button. As for the microphone, we have a blue Snowball. I love this thing to bits. I've had it pretty much my entire like career of computing, I guess. I'm pretty sure I had it my first setup video, which was 2012, so I've had this thing for 4 years, and it's working amazingly. It's a USB mic, and it's just awesome. I love it. Quickly, would like to touch on the mouse one more time. I think it goes up to 8500 or 8200, 8700, something like that, DPI, so that's nice. For the monitor setups, I have two. I have a, they're both Dell because, I don't know, I guess I was lacking knowledge at that point, but yeah. So I have a Dell 1920 by 1200 monitor. It's a weird aspect ratio. It's not 16 by 9, it's 16 by 10. So it's kind of weird, but I think that's the reason that you guys have black bars on the side of your videos. But over here I have a 1080p monitor. Obviously it's my secondary, and I use this for like pulling up wikis or something like that. Having TeamSpeak and Skype or something like that, you know. And this one is 1920 by 1080. So yeah, there's nothing really to complain about there. Here I got TrackIR 5. You can't see it, but when it is lit up, you have 5 lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or no, it's 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And those will use your whatchamacallit, your little reflectors on the hat. You get a reflector tab. There's 3 metallic surfaces that the IR beams bounce off of, and that's how they get the information, I guess. But it's really cool. It mounts on top of the monitor, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, well, except for that one point, but yeah. So it's not really going to move easily. So moving on to, I mean, I would go around over with the surround sound, but I don't really use it. So yeah, it's my bad. So quickly going over the router. We have a pretty much standard Verizon Fios router. I think we get 150 megabits down, 172 megabits up. It's kind of weird, but it's good nonetheless. So that serves its purpose. Gives the entire house internet and a bunch of guests and stuff like that. We got surge protector, power bar, whatever you want to call it, right here. That's what I plug all my stuff into. Pretty self-explanatory, really. Got the PS3, so if I ever want to play some good old console games from time to time, which is, you know, pretty much when consoles have exclusives, but seeing as the PS3 has been pretty much rotated out in favor of the PS4 for reasons that are understandable. We don't get too many of those, so we'll just play some good old games like Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that, the HD remakes. Anyway, we got a 2 terabyte external hard drive right here. This thing is awesome. I store most of my Steam games on here. I think I have like probably over 600 gigs worth of games on there, because No Life right there. Here we have the Thrustmaster HOTAS X Warthog, I think, or maybe something like that. Flight X, something like that. If you look up Thrustmaster HOTAS X, HOTAS X, it's pretty easy to find. I think it was like $40 on Newegg, and it's I keep on not looking at the camera. That's my fault. It's pretty awesome. I use it for Elite with the TrackIR, which is pretty cool. Down here we have a Logitech G27. You can see the shifter there and the actual wheel there. I use these a lot of the time, and they're really, really fun for racing games and stuff like that. So at this point I'm going to go and stop the video for now and just open up the side panel on my tower so I can actually show you the PC, which is probably why you're here. So yeah, let's get into that. Alrighty guys, we have the computer opened up, and now we can take a look at the hardware on the inside of it. So to begin with, you can laugh at my horrible cable management, but I don't think I did a horrible job on it. So let's get started with the EVGA SuperNova. It's a power supply, 750 watt, gold, A+ gold certified. You can see that there. Trying to find a good balance. There we go. So we got like the 24 pin and all that there. Graphics card is still the Nvidia GeForce GTX 660. It's pretty much a dinosaur at this point, but it still crushes a lot of games that I like to play, so I can't be too upset with that. We have a if I can find like a good way to do this. There we go. So we have an ASRock Z77 Extreme 4 motherboard, and a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo heatsink. There's the 24 pin for the motherboard. We got 16 gigs of RAM and a 8 gig times 2 setup. If that makes sense, I guess. And here we pretty much just have a cable management hole. I wrote the 24 pin in there, so I don't have to write it behind the back panel, because the back panel lacks a ton of space for something as thick as this, because this is pretty thick. But overall, I mean, like the cabling that the power supply came with, I love it. I mean, it's so well done. I mean, it's like braided and all that. It's lovely. And here I have the hard drive sneakily hidden away, and I'm pretty sure that's in a toolless bay, so it's pretty much like kind of free, except not really. It's on like a slider, but it's nice. I like it. And that's 1 terabyte again, in case I didn't say it. 7200 RPM, not a solid state. And yeah, for the CPU, I have a Intel 3770 running at 3.4 gigahertz. It's not the 3770K, so we don't have an overclock going. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. I mean, maybe barely. Right there, you can see the latch that holds it down, the screw right there where the light's pointing. But yeah, overall, this PC is amazing. I built it myself. I love it. Only thing right now that I really think needs any upgrades, obviously the graphics card it's old, so we're gonna have to swap him out soon. I would like to put a 1070 in there. They're reasonably cheap for what you get out of them, and it would slaughter any game that I'd like to play. Black Desert mainly being the one that I'm concerned with, because that's the only game that I play right now that I don't get really good FPS on. But all the other games are pretty old or not so intensive. Motherboard, it doesn't need to be replaced because it's pretty much not brand new. It's like a year or two old. However, what does need to be replaced, the motherboard does need to be replaced because of the CPU, and the CPU is a 3770. But it's not like such a huge deal that I need to replace it right now. The CPU is still running amazingly, and it does everything I need it to do. So for now, the CPU and the motherboard will stay, but you, mister, the graphics card, you need to go as soon as possible. So I'm saving up, but you know how that is. Without an actual job, you don't make much money very fast. So yeah, the case itself is the NZXT Guardian. 921B, I think. I think that's the numbers with it. It has a two USB 2.0s, a microphone and a headphone jack, and an eSATA cable port. Up top we have an exhaust port where you can put a fan, but the 212 is pretty close to the top. I think I can fit about maybe 2 hands in there, but it's not a ton of space to work with. So up top's pretty bland. On the front we have, you're not going to be able to see it right now because obviously the computer's unplugged. But here we have a gauge where it tells you CPU, CPU, hard drive, and overall PC temperature, as well as the the power and reset buttons right there. There's a cool design on the front there. You can see them in white. They turn blue. Down there we got a cooling vent that I need to clean because it's dusty and that's not cool. So yeah, there's the vent that I need to clean. Up top we have 3 5.25-inch bays and 2 3.5-inch bays. They're removable from the inside. I think all you have to do is just reach through here. And there's a little pinchy spot. So I could remove one right now, but it's kind of difficult to do holding a flashlight and a phone in the same hand. So yeah, especially pointed at the same thing. Oh, this is actually really nice. Yeah, so that's the front of the case. The other side is just like a plain sheet of metal. Nothing really to see. On the back you have I/O, obviously. There's my graphics card poking through the back. I use a DVI and a display port for my 1200 or my 16 by 10 monitor, and not HDMI, DVI for my 1080 monitor over there. And the only reason I'm using DVI instead of HDMI is because that monitor is weird and doesn't have an HDMI port for some reason. But yeah, you can see the power supply poking through the back right there. And I got another fan that I need to quickly wipe off, but I'll do that probably after this video ends. So yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, the front. It's probably pretty important. This fan I need to clean the most because it handles the most. But we got a the front window. It's like this fan lights up, so you have it lighting up, and it's really cool because it's blue and it spins, so it looks like a blue circle, even though it's only a couple of blue lights. But yeah, it's cool. You probably saw it while I was doing the peripheral overview. But yeah, it's nice. The chair I'm sitting in now. Let me put this here. The chair I'm sitting in now is a DX Racer. It's pretty sweet, and I love this thing to bits. It's awesome. It does. I mean, it's a chair, so I sit in it. But yeah, it's great. I love it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's about it for this PC overview. If you guys liked the video, leave a comment saying how much you liked it. If you didn't like it, leave a comment telling me how much you didn't like it. If you don't like the video, you can also leave a dislike. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see World of Tanks content, Black Desert content, stuff like that, because I might start doing Black Desert content. I like the game, and doing reviews like that helps me expand my knowledge of the game. So it's a really cool and different way of learning. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video.